I'm gonna do a single leg takedowns all fucking day.
I'm not saying was it sticky from the beginning. Let me get one. Work on that, check mine. Sit down for a minute. Sit down for a minute. You guys did really, really well with that. Really well.
Thank you.
Here's the reason why. You didn't know what the fuck I was going to do to you. I knew what I was going to do. You didn't. I know what to expect. You didn't. I know what it feels like. You didn't. So the thing is, will you push yourself like that? I don't know. But there's a difference between that gentleman we threw out of here and the people that stay here. A trainer should be able to do that at any given time because we just don't quit, which you guys didn't. We'll fight through the pain, we deal with the burn. What I told you last week was, when you're dealing with lactic acid training, a lot of training, when you think you can't do anymore, you ask yourself, is it because it burns too bad, or I just can't physically do it? So when you put the weight down and I give you 10 seconds to rest, that burn goes away. It comes right back as soon as you start again, but it goes away. So like I said before, I haven't done that workout in maybe 6 months. Doesn't matter. I train with that mindset all the time, that I know if I ask my body to work, under no circumstances do I break form. I personally find that if I focus more on my form, I can get the right muscles to do their job so I can continue to press. A lot of you guys start to falter. You start to try and leverage the weight up. Your legs were tired. A lot of you guys didn't use your abs. Push-ups, ass was up, ass was down, abs were wide open. You're making your lower body heavier. If you connect the bridge between your upper body, which is still strong, and the lower body, which was taken out already. If you connect the bridge with your abs, then your upper body doesn't do all the work. If you disconnect the abs, upper body had to lift the legs up and down. When we got to the upper body movements after the push-ups, you started to falter in shoulder work because the same thing, you're stacking your knees, trying to leverage off the spine. You can do that if I let you jack up the weight. But the minute I changed the rhythm, which meant you had to go 5 count up or 5 count down, that didn't help you anymore. So if you're the type of client that always throws things around, bounces off its chest, doesn't really do it. The minute you change the rhythm up, that it's a whoa, whoa, you can't use momentum now. It's only 10 pounds. But you say, why the fuck can't I have 10 pounds? 8 pounds. It's a matter of you can't use your legs, or can use your legs. Your legs are kind of worn out a little. That doesn't mean you're not soft in the knees and absorbing from your legs, but keeping this stable so that your body's not lying on top of the legs. Use the legs more, even though they're tired. Mentally, you're giving into the burn and the pain as opposed to paying attention to what do I need to push this weight. I was consistent in the rep count, but I didn't do one thing and change it one. If it was 5 count up and 5 count down, it was consistent for 8 or 10 reps. So you got the rhythm of what I wanted you to do. But the fear was trying to get the weight up, get the weight up, and get the weight up. I also saw the mechanics fall apart on lever arms. We discussed for 2 weeks, origin insertion of muscles, attachment resistance to the end of the lever arm, and everybody started going back to what you know, which is put the dumbbells together, put the dumbbells down here. Put the dumbbells together, put the dumbbells down here. Anterior deltoid, medial deltoid. From here to here, medial deltoid is working and firing. Once I get to this point coming forward, it's the humerus being driven by this muscle. Origin is here, insertion is the humerus. It's bringing the arm back toward the midline of the body, this way. If the wrist stayed over the elbow, the lever arm is greatest weighted out here. When you drop the weight inside of here, the deltoids don't work as much, if they work at all. It's more elbow extension on triceps and less deltoid. So what you were failing to realize, because I put these $1,000 mirrors up, was to use the mirror and pay attention to what's the humerus doing, what's the anterior deltoid doing. You resorted back to what you know because you were hurting, shoulder press the weight. Lift the weight up, bring the weight down. Press the weight up, bring the weight down. Side raises, shorter lever arm, easier the weight got. The hands were up here, the elbows were down here. If the lever arm is the humerus, the insertion is here, it doesn't matter where the hands go. The weight's not here. The weight is down here. So when I bring the elbow away from the body, if it only goes 45 degrees up, That's as far as the medial deltoid worked, which means from here to here, there's little to no tension. From here to here is where the tension gets greater, because when I'm lifting the weight, once it breaks past 45 degrees, I'm fighting resistance. From here to here is little to no resistance, because gravity is pulling the weight down. So you're making a mistake. Again, I'm paying attention to the weights. Again, because you got tired. This is what happens with clients. The minute they get tired, they lose their form. One of you guys asked me, how much do you cue a client? All day. Same with you guys. Elbows bent, straighten your elbows, bend your knees. I could have just gone on and on and on. The entire thing, walking by, legs were getting straight, spines, you're using everything possible to push it. But again, that is the minute you go under duress, the body goes back to what it knows best, which is, oh, what do you want? The weight from here to here? Just do that. As opposed to what I was focused on was wearing out my delts. As much as I wanted to wear them out, I have to pay attention to the fact that they're numbing out, just like your legs did. If you let go of the brain and let the body go to autopilot, the minute your legs go numb, that lactic acid builds up. You start to do squats like this, shoulders start burning too much, you don't focus on anything other than doing this, where if you pay attention to the muscle and tell the brain, shut the fuck up for a second, pay attention to me now. I know what I want the muscle to do. Overriding defense mechanism, which is to collapse your form and push the weight up and down to preserve the muscle from wearing out, which isn't going to work when you're on a bicycle, or if you go surfing one day and you start paddling, and you know what, I can't cheat. Either I paddle, use my shoulders, arms, and everything else to get over that fucking break, or I'm not getting out there today. So there is no way to cheat past that. But in the gym, unfortunately, you can cheat with weights by pushing at point A to point B. When you feel yourself hurting is when you really have to go inside yourself. To me, it's a lot more like yoga than it is like just banging weights around. They talk about a mind-body connection. If I'm asking a muscle that is fading quickly to do something for me, I have to address it. I also have to address everything else in my body. What are my legs doing? What are my abs doing? What's my spine doing? And in a split second, I got to run a checklist of knees bent, legs soft, abs engaged. Bring the humerus toward the midline of the body. Bring the humerus back down just below parallel. Bring it back toward the midline of the body. Bring it back down. I'm not pressing weight. Pay attention to the muscle. Because again, it's burning so much, and myself included, that if I black out and forget what I'm doing, I would start doing this too. Because I'm not paying attention to anything other than where the weights are going, as opposed to, like I told you day one, I close my eyes and I feel everything. I find things blind. I don't see anything. I saw when you guys were training, the old mistakes pop out, and again, it's expected. Because you don't know mechanics under pressure. You know mechanics, if I give you a 5-pound dumbbell and say demonstrate a side raise, everybody would probably do that. But when the weight gets heavier, it starts doing this, it starts doing that. Everything falls apart. Where I ask you where the lever arm is, you say, I don't know, I'm just trying to get the weight up to here. So I hope we learned a lesson about, obviously you guys have a lot of heart and a lot of intensity, you're still here. But also what happens to yourself under duress, that when I'm feeling a burning sensation, will I stay in it, or will I make the mistake of bottoming out on my knees and sitting here? Which is fine, you're resting, but you're stretching the shit out of your ligaments, putting a lot of pressure on your knees. It's not going to probably hurt yourself, it's just sitting like that, but you're letting your legs rest. Sit on them, push off of them, okay? Let's go to this side, we'll take a couple minutes and we're going to regroup and do some other